The footage is grainy, almost too dark to make sense of at first. A woman stands in front of an apartment door, holding a box of pastries, smiling, calm, patient. She adjusts her coat, looks directly at the camera for just a second, and then something strange happens. She leans in closer, as if listening. Not knocking, not calling, just listening to the silence on the other side. Hours later, that same door would be forced open. Inside, a woman would be found unconscious, barely breathing, and sitting on the kitchen counter, untouched except for a single missing piece, was that same box of cheesecake. Victoria Nasarova didn't look like someone you'd be afraid of. If anything, people described her as warm, charismatic even. She had a way of stepping into a room and making it feel smaller, like her presence filled all the empty corners. But there was always something else too, something harder to explain, a kind of stillness behind her eyes, like she was always calculating, always watching. She had moved through different countries, different identities, leaving behind fragments of stories that never quite lined up. Friends would later say they never really knew where she came from or why she always seemed to be starting over. But by the time she arrived in New York, she had already learned one important thing. If you play your role well enough, people will invite you in without ever questioning why you're there. Olga Tsvik wasn't looking for trouble. She was living a quiet life, working hard, keeping to herself, but like many people far from home, she craved connections, someone who spoke her language, understood her past, shared the same sense of displacement. So when Victoria appeared, friendly and familiar, it felt comforting. Their conversations started simply. Messages about everyday things, work, food, memories of places they both missed. And slowly, without Olga even realizing it, Victoria began weaving herself into her life, not forcefully, not urgently, just steadily, like she had all the time in the world. There was something oddly intense about the way Victoria listened. Olga noticed it once or twice, the way she would hold eye contact just a little too long, or ask questions that felt slightly too personal for how new their friendship was. But it wasn't enough to alarm her. Not really. If anything, it felt flattering, like someone genuinely cared. And Victoria knew exactly how to nurture that feeling. She offered small gifts, thoughtful gestures, little signs of attention that made Olga feel seen, each one carefully chosen, each one building trust. By the time Victoria suggested visiting her apartment, it didn't feel strange at all. It felt natural. The day Victoria arrived with the cheesecake, everything seemed perfectly normal. She greeted Olga warmly, stepped inside like she had been there 100 times before. The apartment was quiet, peaceful. There was no tension, no warning signs, just two women sitting together, talking, laughing softly over dessert. Victoria insisted Olga try the cheesecake. She said she had brought it specially, that it was her favorite. Olga hesitated for just a moment, only because she wasn't very hungry, but Victoria smiled, encouraging her gently. And eventually, Olga gave in. One bite turned into another, and then things started to feel wrong. It wasn't immediate. At first, it was just a slight dizziness, like standing up too quickly. Olga tried to ignore it, kept talking, kept smiling, but the room began to shift in ways she couldn't control. Her vision blurred at the edges, her body felt heavier than it should. Victoria didn't panic, she didn't even seem surprised. She just watched, calm, focused, almost curious. As Olga struggled to stay conscious, Victoria's expression didn't change. If anything, she seemed more present than ever, as if this moment, this exact moment, was what she had been waiting for all along. Olga's memory of what happened next would later come back in fragments, disjointed, confusing. She remembered trying to stand, failing, trying to speak, but her words wouldn't form properly. And through it all, Victoria was there, moving quietly around the apartment. There were sounds, drawers opening, objects being shifted, footsteps echoing in a way that felt distant and unreal. Olga wanted to understand what was happening, but her body wouldn't cooperate. The last thing she remembered clearly was Victoria standing over her, looking down, not with anger, but with something colder, something emptier. When Olga was found, she was barely alive. Rushed to the hospital, doctors struggled to understand what had happened. Her condition didn't match anything typical. It wasn't just poisoning, it was something more severe, more calculated. Back at the apartment, investigators began piecing together the scene. There were signs of disturbance, but nothing chaotic. It didn't look like a struggle. It looked deliberate, and sitting quietly on the counter was the cheesecake, one slice missing, the rest untouched, like it had been left there on purpose. As Olga slowly regained consciousness, her memories began to sharpen, and with them came a terrifying realization. She hadn't been randomly attacked. This hadn't been an accident. She knew exactly who had done this. But what didn't make sense was why Victoria hadn't just poisoned her. She had stayed. She had moved through the apartment, taken things, left others behind. It wasn't just about harm, it felt like something else entirely, something deeper, something far more unsettling. The truth started to unravel when investigators dug into Victoria's past. This wasn't her first time. There were other stories, other people, other incidents that never fully made sense until now. And then came the chilling detail. Victoria hadn't just wanted to hurt Olga, she had wanted to become her. They looked somewhat alike, similar features, similar build. It wasn't a coincidence. It was a plan, a calculated, disturbing plan to erase one life and step into it as if it had always been hers. The cheesecake had been laced with a powerful sedative, enough to render Olga unconscious for hours, maybe longer, long enough for Victoria to move freely, to take what she needed: documents, valuables, identity markers, pieces of a life she intended to claim. But something went wrong. Olga didn't die. And that single miscalculation exposed everything. Victoria was arrested, her carefully constructed facade collapsing under the weight of evidence. The charm, the warmth, the quiet confidence, it all vanished, revealing something far more dangerous beneath. Olga survived, but survival came with a cost: a realization that someone had looked at her life and decided it was something they could simply take. And somewhere, buried beneath all the lies and stolen identities, was a woman who didn't just want to escape her past. She wanted to replace someone else's future, because for Victoria, it was never just about killing. It was about becoming.